Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here and welcome back to the Recording in a Home Music Studio course. In this video, we're going to talk about signal types. Alright, signal types. So we're going to get a little bit slightly nerdy here. We're not going to go too deep into this, but we want to get some fundamental understanding of the different signal types, etc., that are going to be involved in our recording process. We need to get some fundamentals here just so that we are clear of what we're actually trying to achieve and what we're doing and what the purpose of half of this stuff is. So at a very high level, there's two main types of audio signals. There's digital and there's analog. Now, you might think of analog as, it's sort of old school. It's the old way, okay? It is an analog signal. It's something that would pass from a musical instrument or something like that directly into, it could be a recording device like a tape machine or something very similar to that was not computer-based. It was pure analog raw audio signals. So as I said, the perfect example of this would be something like recording to tape. You are importing actual audio, raw analog audio, directly through some cables into a tape deck, which is then getting written onto a magnetic tape in a form that is classified as analog. Some people say that this is the best way to actually have your audio, that digital is killing the sound of audio. Now, even though we are recording analog signals with certain instruments and certain devices, now that we are using, most of us, if you are not, then fine. If you're recording straight to tape, then you are working in the analog world. But most of us that are using computers and recording software, etc., we are having to convert all of those analog signals into digital, right? Because anything inside a computer has to be digital. It's just the way it works. It might look like it's analog. It may pretend that it's analog, but it is digital. There's just no getting around that. So that's where audio interface comes in. It actually is responsible for taking that analog signal, hence why we plug a guitar in or we plug a microphone in. It is taking that analog audio signal and it is converting it into digital using what they call A to D conversion, analog to digital conversion. They have specific processes inside those devices to do that conversion so that the digital signal can be put into the computer, written to the hard drives, and can stay there. Then the opposite happens, coming back. So then when you want to play that audio back, it comes out digital, it gets converted back to analog. So now we are talking about D to A conversion, digital to analog conversion, and that is then passed out to your speakers or your headphones so that you can hear the analog audio sound. So the other signal type we have, obviously, which we've already hinted at, is digital. Okay, so far right up to this point of the video, we've talked about analog. Even though we've talked about analog getting converted to digital, we've still been talking about analog audio. Now we're talking about digital audio. And this is where we have something that does not get converted. It is introduced exactly as it is right into the computer from day one as digital sound. With digital, we are talking about it's not audio as such. It is a digital signal that is sent from an instrument that is digitally based into the computer, does not require any conversion, right? Its natural state is to be a digital signal. It goes into the computer as a digital signal and it stays there, okay? What happens with that digital signal is, because digital to our ears is nothing, okay? It's just bits. We can't hear it. It's just code. So with a pure digital signal, we are reliant on another piece of software making that into some sort of audio signal. So this is where things like virtual instruments come in, virtual amps, anything that takes a raw, pure digital signal and makes it into something as audio is actually going to be generating some analog sounds. Now, again, with a virtual instrument, there's still a process with that because it's going to convert our raw digital code into a digital audio sound source, which needs to be converted back to analog by our audio interface to be passed out our headphones or speakers. So they're the two types, okay? Analog or digital. Analog, as I said, that's going to be the majority of your instruments that you might use. Guitars, microphones, bass, any sort of instrument that you play. You know, it could be a true piano, something like that. Whereas a digital stuff might be a drum pad, a drum machine. It could be one of the new digital based synths like a Micro Freak or something along those lines where it doesn't actually really make any sound. It just produces a digital signal that goes into your computer to make that sort of sound. So there's a bit of a cross between the two there. So hopefully that's cleared it up. If you need any more clarification in this or something didn't quite make sense, because it is a little bit hard to explain as such, but ask them in the comments below to help everybody understand this. We need this sort of, as I said, we need these fundamentals to truly sort of understand what we're doing. But I'm not going too deep into it because I just want to give you the explanations of enough information that you'll know what you're doing and that you can do this efficiently, but not so much that you just start to feel like this is a nightmare to understand all of this, because we could go really deep into these content. And if you want to do that, that's fine, but it's not going to be covered in this course. You can find plenty of very complicated, detailed books that will explain all of these concepts in a lot more detail than what I have done. So hopefully it's been helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.